Guys, can you stop saying let's check and move.
Alright. Hello and welcome to Damage Control Central. This is the most important locker aboard this ship. Now, when you guys have a fire or an emergency at home, who do you guys usually call?
911.
911, exactly. This is like the 911 of the ship. Now, usually, sitting right where I'm sitting is where the DCA would sit, or the Damage Control Assistant. He's usually an officer with a background in engineering, and he reports directly to the head DCA, and he reports directly to the head engineer of the ship. And usually, if you look around the room, there's all these charts. And all these charts depict a different system aboard the Midway, whether it be electrical, fire sprinklers, diesel, JP5 jet fuel, stuff like that. And in front of each one of these charts, there'd be an enlisted guy standing in front. This guy is usually about 19 years old, and he would know each chart like the back of his hand. And the DCA would know every chart like the back of his hand. And each one of the enlisted guys would have one of these around his neck. This is a sound-powered phone. So you guys know like the old cartoons with the tin can and the string? It's kind of like that, except these actually work. So if you're, let's say they can keep in contact with all of the other lockers using these. The way these work is your voice, the vibrations your voice makes, travels through a cable that powers the phone, and you can contact all the other lockers aboard the ship if need be, in the event of a power outage or something like that. Now, since there's not a fire emergency every day on the ship, like I hope there's not a fire emergency every day at home, this room also serves other vital functions. One of those functions has to do with this wall over here. You guys see all those knobs and stuff? See a common word on that wall over there?
Weapons.
Yeah, weapons, exactly. Those are like heat monitors of all of the weapons lockers and stuff. So you guys think it's kind of important to monitor the heat of a weapons locker? Exactly, yeah. If one of those sensors starts going off, you need to send somebody down there immediately to find out why one of the weapons lockers is heating up. And another function this area serves has to do with this beam some of you guys are sitting on right here. Any ideas as to what this beam is? This is a central beam of the ship. So this is actually one of the safest lockers aboard the ship because it's in the very center of the ship, whether it be forward, aft, or port starboard. And as a result of that, we have this device over here. It kind of looks like a carpenter's level. It's actually the ship's clinometer. It tells you the ship is in trim or level. And so if you look at the bubble right there, it's pointed to 0. So you guys are doing a great job keeping the ship level. And that's actually working, by the way. And so when the engineers so you guys think it's kind of important to monitor whether the ship's level or not? Yeah, Captain doesn't really like it when he's sitting up there on the island and he's kind of leaning. He's like, guys, what's going on? He calls damage control. He's like, guys, do something about this. So from this room, we control all the ballast points at the bottom, or ballast tanks at the bottom of the ship. And we use those to pump fuel, water, sewage, gas, stuff like that, all to different sides of the ship. Because the ship, this ship specifically is a carrier, so it has ships or planes taking off all the time from the flight deck. You guys know one jet weighs 20 tons? So if 10 jets take off during an operation, that's 200 tons leaving the flight deck. That's a lot of weight. So as a result, the ship will start to lean over a little bit, a couple of degrees. And so we use the ballast tanks at the bottom of the ship to even out the ship again. And when the engineers first designed this ship, they thought it could roll over no more than 20 degrees. Actually, on October 8th, 1988, when the ship was leaving the Philippines, the ship encountered a typhoon. You guys know what a typhoon is? It's like a hurricane at sea. It's a big storm. And when they're going through this typhoon, they get hit by a rogue wave. A rogue wave is a wave that doesn't go along with all the other waves. And the wave was so strong that it hit the side of the ship. And the ship went from about 5 degrees to 24 degrees in a matter of seconds. And so as you can imagine, things are getting thrown all over the place. Sailors are getting thrown all over the place. The ship kind of just hung there 24 degrees for what seemed like forever. It was actually about 7 or 8 minutes. And down here in damage control, we did all we could to try and correct the ship, but there's only so much you can do when the ship's over 24 degrees like that. It's unheard of. And the ship just hung there, and it finally came back over. Except the only problem was when it came back, it started rolling the other way. And so it started rolling back and forth for another 5 minutes or so. And it finally was able to come back to straight again. And it was actually, the ship tilted over so far that you guys know the elevators that we used to take the jets up to the flight deck? The port side elevator got torn off. It fell, dipped into the water and just got torn off completely from the ship. And so the ship finally came back. We didn't lose any planes, luckily, because we had them all chained down. And we had about 30 chains on each jet, if you can imagine that. And so we didn't lose any planes. We didn't have any casualties. There were a lot of injuries and a lot of broken stuff. But luckily, no casualties. And as a result, they made a patch to commemorate it, saying she can do 24, but no more. And it was such a big deal that they had the patch and they had "I survived the Midway" on it. It's pretty cool. You guys have any questions about that? Oh, I actually forgot to mention these too. So, these, you see these orange boxes over there? They were in every locker aboard the ship at one time when the ship was operational. And even in your guys' berthing areas where you guys were sleeping, there were these underneath every bunk. And what these are EEBDs, or emergency escape breathing devices. They kind of help to filter out as much smoke as possible in the event of a fire. And it gives you about 10 to 15 minutes worth of air. Not enough to fight a fire with, but just enough so that you can get out of harm's way and let the flight squadrons do their job.
I have a question. Why do they have so many phones?
Because this room helps coordinate with all the other lockers aboard the ship. So actually when this room was operational, there'd be phones all around us. And so we had to keep in constant contact with other lockers aboard the ship in case of emergency or just to make sure everything's going well. And especially if the captain were mad at us because he's leaning over to the side because we're not doing our job of keeping the ship level. Any other questions, guys? Alright, so let's say we are in this room and we get a report that there is a fire out in the hallway. So the first thing we would do is we close that door because we don't want the fire getting in here, right? So every locker aboard a naval vessel has two ways in or out. You guys find the second way out?
Right there.
Right where?
Right there. Behind him.
Let's see if it opens, see if it works.
Go. Open it.
It works?
Open it
see
up.
if it opens.
Open it up.
Alright, so we're actually going to be leaving this room through that scuff. But I have two rules first. First rule is that an adult has to go through first. It doesn't have to be the squad leader. You guys can draw lots.
Okay.
Second rule is you guys have to go through feet first and on your butt. The reason for that is you're supposed to go off on the other side.
Feet
So
first.
2 feet tall, hang out for the right guys.
I cannot do.